the strings.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And as you see behind us, we have our JZ swap Mustang build in progress. And in the last video, there's a lot of comments, a lot of people talking about the Barra, talking about the Amera Barra, which is like the GM 4.2, and like how you know, the Motor Trend guys are doing that. But and some other guys, I guess they didn't watch any of the video and they thought that this thing had like a 3.5 Ecoboost in it. When they don't even make a 3.5 EcoBoost Mustang. It's only the 2.3, which is a little 4-cylinder with an automatic. So obviously this thing doesn't drift, isn't going to drift very well. And the other thing, why we're not doing a Barra, is there's literally like none of them available in the United States. You can't get parts here. Full standalone wiring harness, turbo manifold, everything. You just have to order everything from Australia. Other than, I mean, I could like wire it up to the ECU master. But we're trying to have this car running and driving in about 2 weeks. Because 2 weeks after that, basically in 30 days, we have to take this thing on a 3,600 mile road trip across the country, drifting it at 6 different tracks in like 5 different states or something like that. So JZs are reliable. I know them. I have a lot of JZ parts. That's why we're going with the JZ in this thing, and I think it's going to be super sick. So last video, we mocked up this front sump 1JZ in here. It's not going to work. It basically hangs down. There's an it's not an electric power steering pump. It's an electric power steering rack is what it is. The whole rack is just electric, and it has like an electric motor on the rack. So it's like electric assisted on the rack. So it's not, there's no hydraulic fluid in it at all. Basically just has 2 big old wires going to it, positive and a negative, and then a little control box. So obviously we need to get this thing sitting down a lot lower. You can see it's kind of tall right there. So we got to get it sitting lower and further back and figure out the whole transmission options. So one of the things about JZs is they come in a front sump configuration like that you use in like 240SXs and JZX 100s and stuff, and Aristos, which is what these engines come out of in Japan, or like a Supra or a Chaser, like a Mark IV Supra or Chaser, JZX 90, whatever. All of those are rear sump, well, not JZX, SOAR, yeah, which is basically the SC300 in Japan. So right here we have David. David has a 2JZ GTE with a rear sump oil pan right there. So we're gonna go ahead and get that thing off of that stand, and we're gonna bring it over here and start mocking some stuff up. So I guess that's what we're gonna do. We're playing with some options right now. We got the engine sitting in the engine bay, and so this, I don't know exactly what engine mount bracket this is. Obviously it's a JZ, but I'm not sure if it's Mark IV or whatever. But you can see we have this mounting plate right here where the factory engine mounts go for the Ecoboost, and we have the plates right here. So basically there's 4 bolt holes, and then it repeats the pattern over there. So we technically have 6 bolt holes right here to kind of choose from to like mount this style of mount on. So we'll probably not use this. We were just kind of using that as a quick little mock-up. But I think what's going to end up happen is we're going to plate this right here, plate that right there, and then basically use 2 pieces of metal similar to this. Obviously steel, not aluminum, and maybe a little bit thicker, and just kind of go up. And I think what we're going to do with that is we're just going to solid mount it. Probably not really use anything. I mean, we could throw like a hockey puck or something under there, but I mean, JZs run super smooth anyhow, and it's gonna be kind of a drift car. I mean, it would be nice for like the road trip though to have like some really nice motor mounts to where it's not
losing height. I mean,
losing height stuff. Yeah. But the other option too,
like a small poly
like small poly puck or something to put underneath the plate.
I mean, either way, I was even thinking worst case scenario, if we just had to like lay this thing flat almost and just go straight over, it would be fine. Yeah. So really, right now with the oil pan how it is, look how high we are.
Tons of clearance.
Tons of clearance, and we could actually go down way more.
Front clears, sway bar and everything here.
So, and I think we're going to have to go down a little bit for, you can see the tranny tunnel stuff like that. I mean, I think it's actually kind of where it can go, but I really think we could stuff it down. Like, we could set this thing super low, and if we wanted to, we could like bang out the firewall and actually sit it really far back and low, which might help, you know, the balance of the chassis.
I think you're going to be fine because it's already clearing. I mean, the Ecoboost was almost this far forward anyways on the sway bar, so it's really not sitting that much more forward than I would assume the Coyote doesn't. I know it's only 4 cylinders deep, but
and we have,
I can't imagine.
Obviously, once this bolt goes all the way in, pretty much the pulley is right here, and then I think even like the alternator and stuff sits up right here.
All your weight is right on the struts when you think about it, right in the middle.
The struts, or at least on the strut. And
you're 50%. Yeah, you're right here. It's
so.
I think it's pretty well balanced.
I mean, I think the only, I wonder, I wish there was a better way to get it like mounted in there. Like, I wonder if we could stick the engine stand underneath it and actually set the car kind of down on it.
On the engine stand?
On the engine stand. So it's more so mounted, other than having this thing where it's kind of playing around, and then we could jack up the car, you know, and on the lift, and then
we could try like we'll pick this out, roll that under it, and I think we'll just put this down to where it needs to be, and then we'll just lower the engine, and then
kind of play with mounting options like that too.
We'll lower the engine back into it. It'll be higher. I think we'll be working with it.
I mean, I think this is it's kind of hard to say because there's not really much to do at this point other than like just get metal and start cutting it and start mounting it. But I do want to have a transmission mounted to this thing, so maybe we do a training mount too. Yeah, so to make sure that way it's all. Make sure it's all sitting level and stuff in here too.
Engine mounts, and then tranny doesn't line up or something.
Exactly. So we definitely need to test that. And then if I'm using the 350Z tranny, I have the adapter plate where it's a spacer, not a spacer. So it's like
the housing?
It's a lot big. Not so in the Super I cut the housing, so it's like basically the size of a W58. Maybe not that small, but it's like the size of an automatic tranny. But look how big this is. Like, I would say that the Z tranny isn't any bigger than that.
It's definitely not like all this down here. I would say it's only like that tall too.
Yeah.
You don't have all this like.
Well, and then just up around here, I would say this is the bell housing up here. So really at that point, I need to decide what car I'm taking apart, whether I'm taking apart my Supra or whether I'm taking apart the drift car. Which, I mean, I would like to throw K-Series in the drift car. I think that would be sick too. So, but this is going to be the new drift car. So it's like, what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. We're going to play with some more stuff and we'll get back to you guys. Got some plates made up. Made this out of 1/4" steel. This is like 3/16 right there. Maybe, yeah, 3/16. All bolted up and kind of ready to go. So you can see, got this is David's 2GZ in there, and I have this little adapter plate. This is another Collins adapter thing, and this is actually David's tranny. I bought David's tranny out of his G35. He's parting that thing out.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the tranny. That's this is a 03 350Z1, and I don't necessarily. Yeah, he lied to me. He said it was 05, but
like
no, it does shift like butter. So we're gonna go ahead and do some mocking up stuff with this. Gonna go ahead and bolt this adapter plate to that, and bolt this to the engine, bolt this to there, and then get it kind of mounted up underneath there, so we could actually get motor mounts for it. So now that I have both of these plates made, and then both the things on each side, as long as we get the tranny in there and kind of sitting right, then we should be able to weld up some motor mounts tonight and try to figure out exactly what we're doing. So, Ford, Toyota, Nissan. What else? Can we add anything else?
No.
All right.
No, I don't think so.
No, you know what we could do? We could put CTSV Brembos on it.
You have GT350 Brembos.
Yeah, but I have to have the whole knuckles and all that other type of stuff. But what else can we put in here?
Oh, put those GT350 brakes on.
That would be sick.
Imagine how much.
I don't think it would clear. They're too big. It's like a 15.5 inch. It's a 15.5 inch rotor, Ty. It ain't gonna work.
That's a 20-inch wheel.
Yeah, but we're probably not gonna run the 20s. So away she goes. Up we go. Is the tranny leaking? Dave didn't drain the
He
fluid.
said there's no fluid in it.
He drained the fluid.
It's not leaking.
Yet.
There's no fluid in it.
Yet.
You feel like one of the 7 dwarfs over there, pumping away.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, pulled the engine in and out, had to bash the tranny tunnel a little bit. It was basically the tranny was sitting on these weird little like ledges in there, so I just kind of basically pushed him back in. Got it kind of sitting level now. Got some jack under it. Got a thing pushing this way. Got the engine hoist on it. We have the factory tranny cross member holding the transmission up from the bottom. And I think everything is looking pretty good. It looks level, forward, backward, side to side. It looks pretty even. And trying to kind of line it up, you know, with the center of the bumper. So I think that's about where it's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this plate right here. And I guess weld it on. I don't know what else to do other than just do it. So. Guys, so check this out. officially mounted in there. So I just welded the fronts of these for now. I'm probably gonna pull them off and weld the back. And I'm kind of trying to decide if I should actually go through and maybe weld like another piece. Basically take this whole thing and just duplicate it and just do 2 of them. Something like that might work really well. Or if I should just maybe do like a little brace, like right here, like brace this like down to there with like a little kind of triangle, and then kind of do like a little triangle right there. You know, I don't know. I mean, that's basically 3/16 plate, 1/4 inch on the bottom. Same thing over here, just kind of welded it on the front for now. But yeah, nothing else is supporting it. It's 100% in there by itself. We have plenty of room around the whole electric power steering thing, you know, the rear sump oil pan, all that type of stuff. And I could have honestly sat it down a little bit lower too, but I just kind of didn't want to go too crazy with it. But I could have got it down really low in there. But yeah, for now, I think that this is going to be all right. Tried to get it as level as we could, you know, kind of eyeballing it, and these valve covers aren't actually bolted down, so and the cams and stuff aren't actually bolted down either. So yeah, I've been having a huge dilemma kind of with myself whether I should take apart the Supra and maybe put like a V12. If you guys have seen like Smokey Nagata's like the legendary V12 Supra, Tommy F just recently did a video on that. But twin turbo V12, it's a Toyota V12. Sounds super cool. There's another guy on Instagram, That Fast Supra. He has one that just sounds like a freaking F1 car. You know, I've kind of always wanted to do something crazy like that with my specific Supra, or maybe like a turbo like 3UZ FE, which is like a 3.4 or 4.3 liter out of a like a LS 430, and they're newer, they're a little bit modern. You know, they're made I think in after 2005. And there's tons of them at the junkyard everywhere. You can pick them up for like $300-400, and I think they make a piston and rod combo for them too. So I don't know, and it would literally bolt in there. Just get a SC400 like rear sump oil pan and mounts, and I would have like a turbo, like twin turbo V8 Supra, which would be kind of cool. And then basically just yank the whole entire thing out of my Supra, which is basically the CDO9, the rear sump oil pan, the 3582, the full D-Works fuel system, the ECU master, the standalone wiring specialties harness, just all of that stuff, and actually have it, you know, like a plug and play thing, or just yank absolutely everything out of my my drift car and then swap in a K-series, because there is a K-series swap mount kit that was recently developed by a company. So that's another option too. So K-swap the S14 and pull and leave the Supra how it is, and eventually build it for more power, or just yank everything out of the S14 and throw like a K-series in that. But I don't know. I'm not really sure how much I'm actually going to be drifting my S14 this next year. I guess a lot of it really depends on this whole chassis right here. And the other thing is we have less than 30 days to get this whole chassis dialed. We're not going to do a roll cage or anything in it right now, but you know, obviously we need to do some testing and stuff with it, take it to the track, get an angle kit on here, get some rear suspension arms, you know, drive shaft, intercooler, radiator, mount it, plumb it, wire it, do all that type of stuff, and then take it on a 3,600 mile road trip. So it would almost be nice to kind of have the S14 as a backup, just in case that this isn't dialed. But I mean, maybe we could just make that not an option, and or maybe we could order all the stuff to do the K-series in that, and then that's the backup. Then we could just build 2 freaking drift cars in a month. But either way, I think that this will be a lot of fun. I was thinking about doing the Cletus and cars, do the burnout competition with this thing. Maybe do like some Arabian style freaking 2-step like pop bang bang, you know, anti-lag stuff when it's doing a burnout. I think that would be really cool. And do some drag racing stuff with it, and just kind of do a lot of stuff with it. I think it's going to be really cool to actually have just a 2J in a way more modern chassis, especially if I could figure out the whole CAN system and get all that stuff to work. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to see underneath it? Should I show you guys what it looks like underneath? Is the shifter placement. So on a lot of these CDO9s, you could pretty much get the shifter to kind of sit like right here. So we should be pretty good with that. I have a GK Tech thing in my Supra that I think would line up just absolutely perfect with that. Underneath here, you can see kind of have a not much room on the side of the tranny, but we're using this. This is the factory S550 transmission crossmember, so that's just kind of holding this up for now. This is where the CD09 mounts. It's a very similar style mount to what the other one is actually in here, or you know, if we didn't have this whole setup, if this was basically right here, it would pretty much bolt into like a factory style mount right there. You can see we got the adapter plate, got the JZ, and then we have a leaky oil pan. You can see how much room we have, and you can see how far we could have actually set this thing down a lot further too. So I don't know. And then so the Ecoboost subframes are way different than the Coyote ones. The Coyote ones, basically this whole thing is just way down here. So I don't think that's too big of a deal, but I'm assuming that pretty much everybody who would be swapping a 2J in one of these chassis, it's probably going to be an Ecoboost or a V6, which the V6 I think is the same as the Coyote. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We got that plate up there. Just need to weld the back side of it, and actually get the real engine that's supposed to go in there, and we should be good. So I'm gonna need a lot of help in the comment section below deciding on what I should do with the Supra and the S14. It's like 3 in the morning, and I just wanted to get this thing mounted in here, so I'm super tired. And if you guys would like a chance to win a 2017 Subaru WRX, link in the description. Every $5 you spend on MotionAutoTv.com, get yourself entered for a chance to win the Subaru, as well as support the channel and kind of help me do crazy stuff like this, hopefully, and you know, not have to like sleep on the couch at my dad's house, or you know, something like that. But I appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe if you guys think this thing's sweet, and see you guys later.